Hi, welcome back, Dreamers. Welcome back to episode 4 of Severino Snakes. If you don't know what has been going on thus far, I have moved to Colorado. I kind of showed the journey of getting to the more tea-filled stuff, I guess you could say. And now here we are. I do want to give a trigger warning for suicide, toxic masculinity, toxic friendships, toxic family, anything, just be cautious. I'm hoping that by watching these things that it's therapeutic for you guys, that it makes you feel a lot less alone, because if I had watched me do this as a different person when I was going through this, I would have felt a lot better, like I wasn't the crazy person, because I've had this conversation twice now, and I've been made to feel like I am the crazy person. I've been made to feel like I'm going crazy and that none of this happened, or all of this stuff. I'm here to tell you and to show you that this stuff really happens. It has been happening, etc., etc. Before we continue, I do want to get a couple things out there. One, if you don't know, the title of the series called Severino Snakes, that is because my family's maiden's last name is Severino. So my mom's maiden last name is Severino. And yeah, there are some pieces in the story that are going to be a little convoluted because some things are in chronological order and other things are by topic. So, for example, in the third episode, I told you guys about my Aunt Robin and her two cousins. There's a very important reason I brought them up, but that won't come until episode 8. We're gonna start with these sets of videos. I'm going to show you this set of videos, which is an hour long. So I might start putting extra episodes out. Every episode comes out on Tuesdays and Fridays around 1 to 3 p.m. Mountain Time. Now, like I said, I might have to do all 4 of these pretty quickly just because I don't want you guys to have to wait to sit to watch through this entirety of an hour video. But we'll see about how they end up. So that's what we're doing today. We are going to watch an hour and 20-minute clip of my father and my mother and I talking. I'm going to insert myself again, just like this, in topics that I need to be said. I want to give you guys an interesting warning that has to not defend myself. In this video, you're gonna see some things that I talk about that I'm not quite 100% sure about at that time. I might clarify some things, I might just leave them open-ended because I did my research on my end. And yeah, so this was in the midst of, right after George Floyd had died. I think I had just come back from work from a protest, something like that. And my parents and I got in this fight, and this fight was one of the biggest fights. And my fight, I mean, it's more of a discussion, but you're going to see us yelling back and forth, and it's going to be a lot. So it's about Black Lives Matter. There's some homophobia in here, a lot of racism. There's a lot of things that are going on in here. Now, I want to address, there's a difference between racism and ignorance. I do believe that. However, in this case, there are just so many things. There's only so many times you can use that excuses. Here's them being ignorant. And then after them being ignorant for a while, you just realize that it's just blatant racism. So I just want to put that out there. That is why I'm inserting these videos, because it is not easy living life with parents who are conservative, Christian, parents who won't open their minds at all. Hey, I want to give you a crazy thing about me. I, 5 months ago, was sitting in that's the other one, Republican. As a Republican conservative Christian, guess what? I'm no longer that. I'm progressive. I don't really want to put myself in a box in general. If I had to choose, I'd probably be more liberal democratic at this point. But I'm open-minded. I switched places because once George Floyd died, and I really that's something that really pains me in my life, is that I really wish it wouldn't have taken that long. But God, I am so blessed to have had a change of character, a change of heart, about everything. So George Floyd dying is so tragic, and it helped me push me to the other side, which sucks. I like don't want to put it on a man's death, but I am again so blessed that I have been to protests and have been like, you know, calling out to action, and like we're still going. So like fight for Breonna Taylor, you guys. Fight for George Floyd and George McClain, or I'm sorry, Elijah McClain, and everyone that came before and the ones that are still happening. So I want to put that out there. Let's see, anything else? Oh yes, one more thing. So I have been obviously putting these episodes out. I've gotten some feedback, etc., etc. I think I'm gonna do like a text-filled episode. It's again gonna be a little bit convoluted. I'm gonna try and name the episodes as perfectly as I can so that you guys can kind of like do this in your order. Like this is in like hopefully perfect order if I can get it there. However, I did want to say something because I did get like two people questioning, kind of being devil's advocate, which I am all open for. Like I said, I'd be a hypocrite if I wasn't open-minded and wanted to see both sides. However, the motion that was made was that I am being a bully, that I am being disrespectful or should be talking to these people in person, etc., etc. There are other people on the other side of the spectrum, hi out there, I love y'all, that have been saying, I love this, I love the series, thank you for making it, I needed this, etc. Those people are incredible. These people, I'm not saying aren't incredible. However, I just want to say to you guys, to those people, this is not what I'm doing. I don't know how many times I have to say this to get this through to your heads. I am not bullying you. The people in this video, I am not bullying you. These videos are full of truth. This is what I had to go through, and this is going to help other people. This isn't for you. Family, if you're watching, stop. Not stop watching, just stop what you're saying. Stop what you're doing because you're actually proving my point. You are talking behind people's backs. Stop it. I am trying to teach you a lesson. A very important lesson in the nicest way I possibly can. Because if I had gone to you in person, you wouldn't have believed me, you wouldn't have listened, you wouldn't whatever. Now, am I saying you're going to listen now? Probably not. Because you're already assuming things about the series and what I'm doing, and you're not even watching. Like, I'm probably talking to absolutely zero people right now. But so those people, hi, I'm not bullying. And if you think that's what it is, just leave. Because that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing sitting in this chair is telling you the truth, showing you the truth. And that is important. You want to talk about hypocritical? I grew up in a family that had always used the cheesy, corny lines that are all true. Honesty is the best policy. The truth will set you free. And hell, you want to use the Bible one? I'll use the Bible one. Everything under the sun will come to light. All right? So let's just like not fight about this. I'm not being a bully. And if you think I am, then you, again, are the problem. I am only telling the truth. All right, so I'm going to stop talking because this video is going to be long. The next 4 episodes are going to be this hour and 20 minute long video. Every section of the video is going to be cut around 20-25 minutes, if I can help it. And then I'm going to insert myself. So these videos might be a little bit long, but I promise you they're worth watching. And even if one person watches this, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. And like, I'm finally putting my life's work out there, and this is what I'm living for. Like, this is therapeutic. Again, family, if you're watching, I want to reiterate this part. This is not for you. Stop proving my point. This is not for you. This is for me. This is therapeutic for me. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to stop ranting. Let's get right into the video. I just want to come back really fast and say I am sorry for the video quality as well that's going to go on when you are sort of secretly filming other people. You obviously don't want to make it obvious, so it's going to be like my foot the entire time. So you're welcome to like listen to this like as a podcast or whatnot, because it's going to be a lot of talking and a lot of things that you're not going to see. So just want to give you that note.
People that work at Disney.
All of them. Every single one of them, but the difference is that they don't kill people.
Yeah, not all cops kill people.
So you think there's no one that's killed somebody?
Yeah. Probability of someone killing someone at Disney? Probably 0.
Not at Disney.
No, I know what you're saying.
That many people.
The likelihood of people getting away with murder without...
I know, I didn't say that. It's like, I didn't say get away with murder. Okay, so.
No, okay.
How many police shootings result in deaths yearly?
How was that person?
Okay, so obviously I'm heated at this part. I just want to say 2 things. So my dad isn't super incorrect at this part. He is incorrect in one thing. My dad likes to do this. He's a android, by the way. How many... Something. You're going to hear that a lot. You're going to hear that a lot. Because he wants to look at these statistics to see if I'm correct and prove me wrong. And it really pisses me off. Because my dad does that, and then he clicks on the very first one. And if you know anything about research, if you've gone through high school, you know that if you click the first one, and you even try to use that fact in your paper, the people will cop you for it so quick. They'll be like, oh, everyone's using the same fact because they only click on the first one. Don't just click on the first one. You will learn nothing by clicking on the first one. Go to the second page, even. Hell, on Google. You're going to find a whole different thing. So my dad in here isn't super incorrect. The average per deaths is 1,000. The average deaths by police shootings per year is about 1,000. Around that, in 2019, I think I just read, 212 of them were black people, 312 were white. I'm just saying that's the statistic. That's all I have to say. Why? Because I'm not arguing a side. Because I know that Black Lives Matter. I know that I'm open-minded. And I know that I don't have to say anything else. Because guess what? Just because that statistic on white side is higher doesn't say anything else. Because it's the circumstances that they were under. George Floyd should have been able to go on a jog. Breonna Taylor should have been able to sleep in her own home. And that's on period. These statistics just aren't going to come up correctly.
They should. They
So,
have a census.
No.
It says they kill about 1,000 people a year.
Okay. Okay.
And so that's popular. That is like...
A year, but that's on average, because last year it was higher.
Yeah.
In 2019, it was about 1,020 black deaths.
No. This is 1,000 people killed altogether. They're not all black.
No. Listen to what I just said. About 1,024, I think was the number, of white cops killed black people in America in 2019.
Yeah, I know how. You know what the number was? Something like 19.
No, I just told you. Listen to what I just said. White cops killed black people. The number was 1,024 in the year 2019.
So that doesn't make sense if they're saying it only has...
If who? First of all, your information is wrong.
Where you get your information?
Everywhere that's important.
Yeah, the false news off of Twitter and all those places.
Oh my God.
All the fake news locations.
Turn on the news. Because if you turn on the news, what are you going to see? I'm asking you a genuine question.
You see what the liberal press wants you to see.
No, you see what the conservative press wants you to see. You want to know what the conservative press wants you to see? Looting. And then they show a clip of Trump saying that looting is bad. And then all of the conservatives say, yeah, that's correct.
Well, that is correct.
That's not what is happening in the majority of cases. It's peaceful protesting, which they're not showing on TV.
Because you're making my same argument that most black people are not going to be killed by a police officer. Okay?
The most doesn't matter in this situation. That is why we're having this situation.
More black people get killed by black people than get killed by anybody else.
That is not true. Okay, like I said, you're gonna hear a lot. Not a lot. Hopefully, not a lot. I'm watching this for the first time back because it is very triggering for me. Some false accusations or false claims that I make, or false statistics that I make. So I'm gonna clarify. So black on black crime doesn't matter in this instance. Black on black crime is a big deal, and it does need to go away. And there are a lot of people calling for help in that area. Okay, here's why it does not matter. Because when people say Black Lives Matter, other people say all lives matter. This is a movement. This is something to go against what this says. All right, now listen to this. Black on black crime. White on white crime. Never heard that one before, have ya? No, because this is an offensive phrase denoting that there is a higher criminal rate in black communities. Regardless of that, if that is true or not, which I don't care about, this is an issue that we're gonna fix regardless. God willing. But like this is important. Black Lives Matter is important. I got mad in these clips saying this false stuff because I just wanted to be right. I just wanted to prove my father right. My father is someone who always has to be right. My father, like, you're gonna see other clips where I know what I'm talking about and I know I'm correct, and it'll make me very happy. And like that is like, I do this like every day. Every single day. That's why these clips are important, is because it is emotionally draining to sit here and try to prove yourself every single day of your life. I am still sitting 1,600 miles across the country from anyone and everything that I've ever known, still trying to prove myself. And it's frustrating, and it's hard, and it's difficult, and no one should ever have to do this. No one should ever have to prove themselves constantly. It's exhausting. But my family, you know, doesn't matter. A+ student. You know, you gotta be perfect.
That is absolutely true.
Incorrect.
Now, I know it's a fact. In South Chicago, black on black crime, they're killing, and they were, I don't know if they still are now that COVID's.
Black on black crime does not matter in this situation. Not what we're talking about.
The number of police officers killing black people a year.
I just told you what the number was in 2019. It was 1,024.
The number of police officers that have killed
White.
Black. Okay. What is the number of black people that have been killed by white officers in the most recent statistics? Let's see. Washington Post. Washington Post is liberal.
Hell, I don't know why Christians don't understand this either. It's in the Bible.
About what?
About what?
That Black Lives Matter.
In the Bible, it tells you all lives.
Yeah, but that's not the point right now, because Black lives don't matter. So we can't have all lives matter until Black lives matter, and here's why. In the story with the sheep, there's 100 sheep, right? We know this story. I'm just giving you a story, right? There's 100 sheep, yes or no?
Yes, and Jesus.
There's one sheep that goes off, right?
Right.
Jesus doesn't go to the 99 sheep because they're all fine.
Right.
Jesus goes after the one sheep that needs to be herded back, to be with the group, because they're not with the group. Black people aren't with the group. All lives matter. Hence why Black Lives Matter. Jesus wants us to go after the one sheep rather than the 99.
Yeah, but
He
he
wants
doesn't.
to
But he doesn't want to crucify the other 999, which is what everyone is trying to say when it comes to police officers. So what my dad is saying in this bit, just in case you don't understand, because you might not, because I don't know about how familiar you are with the Bible, but he's talking about the crucifixion, and he didn't want to crucify the 99 other sheep. Basically, in latent terms, that means that these 99 people were oppressed. He was saying, like, he didn't want to crucify them, meaning they were crucified,
meaning that he thinks that white people are oppressed. Guess what? We're not. We have white privilege. And I live in a 950 square apartment in a very nice area because I'm not oppressed. Okay. I didn't say that I didn't work my butt off, but I'm not going to defend myself. I already told you. I think I'm underestimated, understated, but that has nothing to do with the color of my skin. That has to do with my family and their problems and me being raised the way I was raised. So.
Police officers are, the vast majority of police officers live their lives never using their gun.
Another thing that I really hate that my father does is he uses extremes. Nevers, the majority, the most of them, all of them, stop using extremes. Let me tell you, the biggest way to get yourself shut down in an argument is to use an extreme. Because you're going to be wrong. Like 99.9% of the time. Because there's still that 0.01% that does it. Stop.
The vast majority never have used their gun.
Okay.
My cousin Tom was a police officer
Okay.
here for 27 years, and he's been a cop for 40 years. He does not go into it with color, race.
How do you know that? I'm asking you. You don't have to get mad.
He stated it, and I know him.
Okay.
And he doesn't go into it with sexuality. When he gets the dispatch, he just goes.
My point is, Matthew, I totally agree with you about Black Lives Matter.
Dude, he could have just stopped right there. He could have just said, I totally agree with you, Black Lives Matter. Stop. But instead, we still have an hour and 15 minutes worth of video to watch because he didn't stop.
I do.
Okay.
The only thing I'm trying to get you to make sure you understand is that you can't paint any particular group of people as being either totally bad or totally good, because it doesn't exist. Okay,
but like at this current moment, the reason people are saying that is because that is what is happening.
But it's
Because okay, for example, the Flint, Michigan police chief. I don't remember his name. Did you see that video?
I don't watch it.
Okay, that video, there's a peaceful protest. He's the police chief. He went to said peaceful protest and said, you're gonna take off your masks. The cops, like the reg or whatever the hell. You're gonna take off your masks. We're all gonna walk with them and we're gonna have a good time. The Flint, Michigan Police Department walked with the peaceful protesters. Okay, we're not stating they're bad because obviously that's one of the good examples. There was another video where this guy who was black was wearing a free hug shirt. He was hugging the police officers, and another black person behind him called him the N-word, and he called him that twice. The other black guy wearing the free hug shirt went to go talk to this guy and was like, listen, like, I get it. And he was saying the same thing.
Well, that's all.
But that's the thing, is like the whole reason right now is because if you are silent, you've chosen your side.
That's BS. Listen, while you're speaking out or whatever, again, none of what that does changes. What changes is when they change laws and change behaviors within an organization where they're trying to make those changes now.
Okay, so I agree and I disagree with what he just said. So I agree that change is made by laws. November 3rd, go vote. Please go out and vote. For goodness sakes, register to vote. Go out to vote. I also disagree because I also think that through these protests and things that people have been calling and texting and protesting and emailing and putting it on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, there has been a lot of things that have been happening. You know, we've had arrest made. Now, has it been enough? Absolutely not. Like I said in the beginning, like we still need to be going after the cops in all of these cases and making sure that they're not getting paid, because that's blasphemy. But we need to continue to fight for that.
Hopefully these peaceful
So
walks
I
and all
think
that will change.
my point is I do believe that the peaceful protesters have had an impact.
Of course they had.
And change
Yes.
is occurring. And again, the same thing. Here's my whole point. The vast majority of protesters are good people with good hearts, want to make a change. But there's a percentage that are not good. Those are the ones that turn out to be the rioters and things like that. The same thing with police is what I'm trying to say.
But
The police as a majority.
I just want y'all to know I'm with you watching this video. Grab a drink if you're of age. Every time he says a extreme, I need you to take a drink, because it's pissing me off the amount of times I'm hearing most, majority, any, all. It's pissing me off.
Are, I believe, just like you and me, just trying to make, take care of our families, do what's right, etc. The vast majority. But there's a bucket of these that are not good, and they need to be weeded out. But that's what I'm getting about.
Even teachers.
No, because Dad brought that up yesterday, and I was going to say something. Teachers do not have the authority that cops do to kill people.
Yes.
Teachers aren't walking around with guns shooting people. That's the problem.
Yes, I get that, but
they're protecting us.
But you're saying
Wrong.
They protect
Wrong.
people.
If you want protected people for a child, a therapist, Child Protective Services should be the ones answering the call.
Well,
In fires, a firefighter should answer the call.
I hear
Police
you.
don't need to show up at a fire
So
call.
let me ask
So
you
they're
something.
trying to.
If there's a firefight, meaning people are shooting at each other, who comes to that?
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard of a firefight?
If
It
someone,
happens in Chicago, drive-bys all the time.
Are you in Chicago?
No, but my point is, what do you do with that? Who's going to answer that?
You send them both.
Send both of who? Because I'm going to tell you right now, no social worker is going to go in to a place where people are shooting at each other.
But they don't need. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But that's, again, you need what? 3 cops for that, maybe, if that. And those are the 3 good cops that are going to hopefully show up.
let me ask a question. If you're running from the cops and you got arrested, what should you do?
Absolutely detain them, because there is a justice system where you get a right for trial. You have a right to a lawyer. You have a right to live. So if somebody runs from the police, you should not be shooting them.
And most people that run for police don't get shot. Anyway.
The most don't matter. But that's what you're stating in your mind, is that's what matters right now, and the most don't matter, because the most of the people are good. That's fine. The most is not what we're talking about. The sum of the people need to be rounded up.
Okay, anyway, so I hear you, and part of me understands what you're trying to say, and I don't have an issue with it.
Right.
But part of the challenges are that people, you never know. So to give you an example, I understand what you're saying, but the challenge, the issue is you have to balance everything.
Okay, so defund the police.
So here's what I mean by that. So let's say you have a domestic.
Said a social worker. I just want to make a point here, in the fact that I keep reiterating the same thing about like social workers and things like that, because at the time I had just like read about like all of the kind of different scenarios, and I like completely blanked on all of the situations and examples that they were given. So that's my bad on forgetting. So the only example I could come up with was social worker. I still believe exactly what I'm saying. If you don't understand what I'm saying, all I'm saying is that we need to defund the police. There needs to be a lot less of them. It's unnecessary for them to not have the proper training. We're going to get to that, etc., etc. but in some cases, specifically domestic violence apparently is the one we're choosing, cops don't need to be, in this case, there. And if they're there, they definitely don't need a gun. Just bring a taser or something. Like, these are the situations where, you know, like, or a child is being hurt. I'm gonna go over something in my family about a child and false accusations, etc., etc. In that scenario, they went to the police. The police went and they arrested people in my family. It's not like, that's fine, but this is a domestic violence case. This is a child protective services case. This is a case where we need a child protective, what do they call, child service? We need a mediator, whatnot, talk it through, get a therapist, get a guy, like, in schools, get guidance counselors, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists. Like, there are more people in this world, like, that can help other people. The situation doesn't need to escalate to the point of just shooting. These cops, these people that are just shooting out of nowhere, the cop or the person that shot 2 or 3 people at a protest the other day, or the other week, and got away with it, I'm pretty sure, and then went to go the next day to wipe off some graffiti to look like a good person, that person's not good. Also, they shot 3 people, maybe you should get them checked out. Maybe we should de-escalate the situation because he could go back out and do it again. So that is what I'm saying.
Okay, hold on. This domestic
abuse,
violent type.
Got it.
Okay. You send a social worker.
Perfect.
Get that. Okay. Social worker comes in and tries to diffuse the scenario, and the person starts, the person that was beating up the wife starts beating up on the social worker. See, then what happens?
Okay, if a cop were there, what would the cop do?
The cop's gonna arrest.
Pull out a gun. The cop is most likely, depending on situation.
If they
Every
think if
situation
it's a guy, whoever, let's say it's a guy, because most of the time, let's be frank, it's gonna be the guy. Let's say the guy's holding a knife, he's probably gonna pull a gun. If he has no weapons, he'll probably pull a taser out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why is that not the first option?
Huh?
If somebody's holding a knife,
There's a difference.
pull a taser, not a gun.
No, because
Because you pull a taser, you're shooting the taser, person is incapacitated. But if you pull a gun and you shoot a gun, said person is dead.
well,
There's a difference.
Majority of people that get shot are not being killed. Even though,
If you are getting shot, you're more likely going to die than you are to arrive at a hospital and be completely fine.
Okay, so what if a person goes into school and shoots up people? What do you think the cops should do?
it's too late. Well, I get what you're saying, Matthew, and I agree. And the only thing I would tell you that in that scenario, because I know people, you would want both. You would want the social worker to go in and have a police officer there for support, because the issue is, and it happens to police all the time. They go in to stop a domestic violence thing, and then many times they think they got it calmed down, and then the police officer gets shot.
Or robbery, or whatever cops go in for.
Yeah, but that's different. They're not going to send.
Cops are in every school because of the school.
There are more, listen to this, there are more cops around the country in schools, more than there are therapists and mental health workers. So here's the issue.
People aren't going in those fields then.
They're wrong. That's wrong. It's just wrong. You can get those people to come into the schools. And here's the issue. Cops are being funded too much money for diddly squat.
I will tell you this, I do believe that there's too much money more than likely spent on police officers.
So you could have,
as well as military.
So I know how you feel about this, but you can use the money from defunding the police to give everyone in the United States free college and have money left over. Think about that for a second.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
$6 billion is given to the Los Angeles County alone for police.
That can't.
Google it, because it's everywhere. This is the fact that I'm very proud about knowing. Haha, clearly, because I'm aggressive about it. I made him Google it, and he's Googling it in a second. But I made him Google it because it's important to know that number is factual. It is a ridiculous number. And I also want to talk about the fact that I decided to choose about being able to pay off everybody's free colleges and still have money left over. Other countries do it. Why can't we? Facebook, Twitter, Google, Instagram, everywhere. It is everywhere.
Police officers are thinking about all this, about the
They-
defunding and all that.
The Minnesota police was just degrouped.
Yeah.
There's no more police in Minneapolis.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see. So what are you gonna bring? So if people are shooting and killing each other, who's gonna take care of it?
The world is, we're trying to make the world a better
I get what you're
place.
saying, Matthew. I
It's
get
not
all
gonna make the
that.
world a better
But you
place.
still, you know.
If there's no
Bible-
shootings at all,
What the Bible says that government is to be a detriment to those that do evil, okay? Meaning that government was the only purpose, I believe government was supposed to be, was to ensure, for better terminology, that evil did not prevail in the world, basically.
okay, well, it's happening.
And so my point to that is you cannot live in a society without police officers. I don't believe it, and you won't convince me that you can live without it.
Okay.
And you're not gonna convince me either.
Now,
And I guarantee
do
you-
I believe?
Mom, I don't need to hear from you. You're disagreeing with anything Dad says, so just form your own opinion.
But, well, Mom has the right to talk to.
Yeah, but she's just saying what you're saying, so I don't need to hear it from her mouth. I can hear it from yours. So I wanted to put this in here because some people are gonna be like, wow, you're rude to your mother. Yeah, I was, for the right reasons. Because my mom likes to just insert herself at random times. She likes to say random things, and you know, there could be something off about her that's not something I'm gonna talk about, something I need to talk about, something I care about. But I just wanted to put this in here. It's because, also I changed positions because I needed some hot cocoa because I was getting stressed. And also I changed locations because I needed to charge my computer while I do both of these things at the same time. So my mother has always inserted her into the conversation. And it just was frustrating. Now, I just talked to a friend who was kind of watching this with me, and he was like, this is really frustrating to watch. It's really frustrating that I can't respond. Exactly. It is really frustrating for me to watch. It's frustrating for me to live. Like, it was not fun. And I just felt like I was losing this battle, and that's fine because I don't need to win every battle, and I didn't need to win this either. I just wanted to make sure that that point was across, that I could get this out there. But anyways, this is about my mom. She's just always been like that. She's always inserted herself. She always is kind of confused about what's going on and what we're really saying. I don't really know what it is. Again, I don't need to know. I hope that she can get better if that's something that is something she wants to go into. But for now, that's all I had to say about her, is that she was just not forming her own opinions. She's always been under this umbrella with my father, and she's just always agreed with him, and it doesn't matter what he says, she's gonna go along with it. If he gets angry at her, and I wanna go into this a little bit in depth, but if he gets mad at her, and then she gets mad at him, she'll leave the house, she'll go grocery shopping, she'll go to McDonald's, she'll go to Disney, she'll come back, and she'll pretend like nothing's ever happened, which is not a healthy way to live. But that is that on that. We're gonna get more into my parents' relationship later on.
Again, you should let your mom speak too. But what I was going to say was, I agree. I'm trying to tell you that while I don't agree, you go around. I think the difference is, could we reduce the budgets of law enforcement? The answer is yes.
Yeah, send it to the homeless.
And
Send
then
it to the.
But homelessness is not a scenario of throw money at it and it's going to get solved. Okay, that's not the way it works.
I don't want to be devil's advocate here, but pretty sure that's exactly how it works.
Perfect example is many of the poor countries. Haiti example. We've spent billions of dollars in that country, and they're no further along than they were 100 years ago. They still live in poverty, and the people are uneducated, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway,
More
what
people
I'm
would be
gonna say is-
but okay.
But I do believe that that people that have better skill sets to go in and de-escalate scenarios and situations, to assist in schools for kids that get bullied and don't know how to do anything, so they go crazy, pull a gun, and shoot people. I do believe that we should provide for those types of scenarios.
Well, that's fine. Well, I'm not saying. I mean, I'm not saying that they should go away. I'm just saying there should be a lot less of them because we don't need them all.
I agree.
And so, but here's the other problem. They're not trained to do that. There's
Yes, I know that.
they aren't trained to de-escalate situations.
Well,
Some are. I think there's a small percentage that are.
majority are not.
But here's the other thing. It takes, what's the number? I think it's 6 months or maybe 120 hours to train a barber, to train a salon artist. Like, obviously, just look at Elizabeth or look at Ashley. She has to do all of these hours
Yeah, right.
to be trained as a stylist. Cops have a lot less training than that.
Their training is all based on restraining people and
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But like, I'm also saying that it's a lot less time.
well,
It takes a lot less time to train a police officer than it does a stylist, which makes no sense.
I don't know how long the training is. So I can't.
I think it's 3 versus 6 months, if I remember correctly. But
my guess is.
and it takes a lot longer. Why would it take a lot longer for you to become a lawyer than it does to be a cop? Why aren't you required a bachelor's degree to become a cop?
Well, some places
You should.
require that. Matter of fact,
You should-
security. I think security. I think at Disney requires that you're working towards a degree.
But that's like that's like a very select few people. This is where I disagree. Again, you should very much have a bachelor's degree to become a cop. You need training, you need a bachelor's degree to become a cop. Why? Because I think in this specific degree program that we could build, it should have a mental health test every month, every 6 months. It should have mental health classes. You should have to take psychology. You should have to know what a person's mind looks like to de-escalate a situation. You should learn that the taser should come first, never the gun. You should learn when you are walking up to a car that you are going to investigate, never hold your gun. You know, I got pulled over the other day. I'm not even scared to say it. I got pulled over the other day, and the cop came up to me holding his holster, and I'm terrified of cops. I don't think a lot of people know that about me. Like, I have a very rational fear of cops. Like, they terrify me. I don't know what's gonna happen. And like, I'm white. Again, I have white privilege. If anything, like, I can't even like put myself in a black person's shoes about knowing that. It terrifies me. I would never want to be in that situation because I'm already terrified of cops. So he comes up to me and he starts joking. So if you're going to be a loving cop when you walk up and you're going to joke, and my pants were ripped, and he was like, "Did you fall?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Oh, because your pants are ripped." And I was like, okay, stupid dad joke, but also like, haha, But like, you're gonna come up and hold your holster while you're walking up to me and you're gonna start making jokes. Don't do that. Just be a loving person. Just don't hold your holster. There's no need. Just walk like a normal human. This is broad daylight. You know, like nothing's gonna happen. But yeah, I totally disagree. There should be a bachelor's degree program that we build as a society to better help these cops actually understand how to do their job. People are very selective. So like, you should be required a bachelor's degree to become a cop. You should have a lot more training to become a cop. They should train you to de-escalate the situations.
Well, now, let me back up a little bit. I don't necessarily believe they need a college degree to be a police officer.
But they should. Why does it take a lot less? Listen to this.
I know what you're saying.
Well, no.
Because most of it, here's what I'm trying to say. Because a lot of what you do here and have in college is worthless, okay? You're never going to use a lot of the stuff that you learn in college in real life, okay?
Thank you. Thank you for making me to go to a 4-year college to get a degree that is going to be absolutely worthless. Thank you for putting that out there for me. Thank you for telling me that I have to go to college. Thank you for enforcing that upon me. For you to tell me right as I'm graduating that everything that I just did and learned was 100% absolutely worthless. Thank you.
Okay. Now, do I believe that they should maybe have to take a couple-year course where they're focused on de-escalating, how to handle, different things, as well as all the other stuff? Yeah, but taking, as a police officer, taking an English course, that's going to enhance his ability or her ability to be, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but I think there's also a lot of experience behind college situations where it could be beneficial.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, listen, I work...
Imagine like a shy, hateful kid who was bullied in high school and like has all this built up anger and emotion, and he's able to just go into the police force. He's going to go into the police force with the mindset of, I'm going to get revenge on all these people that were bullying me.
Well,
and now he's going to see people as bullies. So I think, it's a little bit of both. Obviously, the courses is a very smart idea. I think they should have to go through those courses of de-escalating and everything. But I think a college experience could very benefit from these people. Which, here's the other thing. Is
I think college is not the answer for everybody.
I'm not saying everyone has to go to college. I'm saying the people who... Why should lawyers take a lot more time to enforce or to keep the law when police officers don't have to have a degree to enforce the law?
Yeah, well, part of that is they have to go through the regular 4 years of college and then add 3 more years. The reality is they probably could do it in the 3 years instead of adding that. So why? Part of that is because the whole college, the way college is done today, and the way it is set up, it's just a large money-making machine. Because it used to be that you had your professor, and then you'd have like a dean over all the college of, whatever the name of the college, the College of Medicine or the College of Law, or different things. You'd have a dean over that, but you didn't used to have, all these intermediate people that have added. In other words, in college they probably added 5 times the number of people that used to work in colleges as versus say 20 years ago. Because what they're doing is they're layering in, what's the word I want? What is it when you add layers and layers of stuff? Bureaucracy. So what they've done is they've started out with professor teaching. Now, a lot of professors don't teach. They use associate professors, or what are that other people called? They're not interns. They're kind of like an intern.
An apprentice?
Yeah, they're not called that in college. I can't remember what they're called.
A teacher's assistant?
Huh?
A teacher's assistant?
No, they have a different name. But anyway, but the difference, now, saying that, that's the reason why, you know, some colleges costing $40,000, $50,000 a year, and UCF's what, 6? You know, which, I mean, there's a big difference. Now, saying that, you could add, if you were on campus, and you were living on campus, it'd be a hell of a lot more money. But anyway, but no, I disagree that, see, the funny thing about it is it used to be that we were a society based on apprenticeship. In other words, if you wanted to be, I don't know what you want to be, but if you wanted to be an events planner, then you would start out working for an events planner, and for better terminology, you were their grunt. You know, you had to do all the grunt work, do all that other stuff. And then over time, they would classify you as a journeyman, meaning you've learned a certain area, and then finally you'd be, I forget what they classify the highest level.
Okay.
But anyway, my point to that is that the same thing could have occurred with police, you know, things like that. Now, the biggest challenge with police is, again, they haven't learned, many of them, I don't know what they do. I don't know anything about their training. But most of them, I would imagine, is like, so to give you an example,
I don't know whether to keep this on or off. It's just going to be doing what it's doing because I'm frustrated. Everybody in my family loves to talk and then put themselves in the scenario. So that is what my father is about to do. He's going to talk about himself. He's going to talk about his job. Like it matters in this situation. It doesn't. None of it matters. So, yeah. Stop talking about yourself. Stop doing it. I mean, talk about yourself more. I definitely am underappreciated. So for someone like me, I need to talk about myself more because nobody's really paying attention. So, but like for people like him, they're 60-something years old, a father talking to a son. You don't really need to talk about yourself in the situation. It's not really constructive, is it?
Diversity, okay? We take, annually we have to take a course online, and it's a couple hours. Same diversity class every year. I can probably tell you almost verbatim what it is. But does that change anyone? You know, if you don't understand what real diversity is, which is inclusion to people, you know, you could say whatever you want. I mean, you could read that and say, I passed my test, and not believe a word it said. So, but I agree with you, Matthew, that I think defunding an entire police force, personally, I think is ludicrous and stupid. That's just my opinion.
What do they need the money for?
Huh?
What do they need the money for?
If you don't have, so when you say you're going to defund,
I said defund. I did not say get rid of.
Well, I think defund. The
there's
way
two
Minneapolis read, the way I was reading Minneapolis is
they got rid of the police force.
they're getting rid of the police force.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine. Who's going to do the policing?
They have people.
No, they won't. Unless
they have different people for different scenarios.
Okay.
I just don't remember in my head what they are.
I want to know what they're going to do if someone's robbing a bank and killing people. What are they going to do if they don't have any police? That's what I want to know.
Okay, Google it because I'm sure they have an answer. I would probably tell you, but I just haven't researched that part. Okay, so that is the end of this episode. I will see you guys later. You're going to get a lot more. I'm going to split it up. I finally figured out into 3 parts. They're going to be a little bit long, but again, trust me, they're very, very important to watch. They're so good. Low-key, so annoying, but also so good. But remember, it all starts with an idea. Dream big.